So before we start, please can you tell me what you learned on our previous class that we can move forward?
Yeah. Yesterday, precisely, we looked at PyCharm, and you explained yesterday that PyCharm is not a notebook like the Google Colab. We can use PyCharm only to code, and it's not a notebook. Then also, we talked about how a Python starts. You said a Python starts only with keywords, or they are also known as reserve words. And some of these reserve words are like false, none, as, and, true, etc. Then we looked at keywords. Then we said before having a keyword, we must import a keyword for us to get the keywords. Then you said any word that attached using the word or keyword is a variable. Then for us to know the number of keywords or how many keywords, we have to use a function. And a function stands on its own with a parameter. So we move on yesterday to another topic called identifier. From what yesterday you explained, you said an identifier is a name given to an entity. And some of these entities are like function, class, variables. Then these identifiers, which some of them I've mentioned, they help to differentiate one entity from another entity. And we talked about the rules of identifiers, which some of them state that, and these rules, some of them state as the first one we looked at, say, identifier, we cannot name it as a digit. We cannot start identifier with a digit. And we cannot use a symbol as well. We cannot use a symbol. If we use a symbol, it can't work. Then also we can use a keyword or a reserve word for identifier. So like just what I've explained, I've mentioned, if any of these rules we don't follow it, then at the end of the day, we will not be having the required result. And in most cases, you said, or in all cases, if you're using a keyword, it always appeared with a color, whatever color, be it green, yellow, or whatever color. But no sooner it's a keyword, it will appear with a color to show that there's a keyword or a reserved word. Then we talked about another topic called variables. From the explanation yesterday you gave, we said a variable is a memory location to store value. So no sooner a value is being attached, which of course yesterday you said, I don't know if I'm still correct, you said the equals to sign means assigned. Then if you see the equals to sign, and something that comes after the equals to sign means that's the value that has been assigned. And also variable has rules as well. So yesterday you explained again Python. You use Python to explain code and for more understanding. Then we talked about comment as well. We said in comments we have a single line and a multiple line comment. Then I think finally we talked about statement, which of course a statement being defined yesterday as an instruction that a Python interprets and can execute. A statement is executable and you said a statement is executable and a comment is not executable. So so I think
Good,
yesterday we
good,
stopped at statements.
good. I believe you recall what we learned last class yesterday, and I'm grateful for everything you have recalled so far. It seems that we are going to be moving forward to a new topic, which is variable assignment. We
Okay,
are going to look.
can you give me like 5 seconds for me just to get my notebook?
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Joe, you having a spare pen there? I think, yeah, I think I left my pen here yesterday, but I don't know if you see. If I looked for a pen here yesterday, I couldn't see a pen here. Yeah. Okay. I think when I'm done, I'll give it to you back. Thank you. Okay, sir, I'm set now.
So now I have shared my screen to my notebook, which we were using yesterday. I hope you are seeing it.
Okay, I'm seeing the screen.
So this was our last class, and this is where we stop. We stop at assignment. So we are going to look out on. So let me connect. I always told you that before you start your notebook, you must connect because we are using Google environment. Google environment, when we connect it, we allocate a space for us. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to look on variable assignments.
What the topic for today? Variable assignments.
Variable assignment. So
Okay, variable assignments.
yes. So and let me copy this. Okay, let me assign a new variable called Abu. Abu is equal to okay and to let's say 80. Now this is a variable assignment because Abu is a variable which we assign 80 to and Abu. And this assignment is a single line assignment. It's a single line assignment. It's a single line assignment. Now we want to look at multiple line assignment. For us to write a multiple line assignment, we are going to use a variable name called int var, comma, and float. So do you know the meaning of floats?
No.
Okay, in data type, we have a numerical data type. Under the numerical data type, we have the integer, the float. The float is a number with floating points. A float is a number with floating points, okay?
Okay.
So we are going to say str then we are going to assign it to a value. So our first is integer. Integer is an whole number, so we are going to declare 40. We are going to declare 40, then we are going to declare the float, which is 50.5, and we are going to declare a string called abu. So this is an assignment I just declared now. I declared this 40 to integer, and I declared this 50.5 to float, and I declared the abu to string
Okay.
var.
Let me ask a question. So,
Okay.
is it because of the decimal that makes this number to be called a float, or what makes a
Okay,
number to be called a float?
because of the point
Okay, because of
50,
the decimal, right?
yes,
Okay.
50.5 is a floating number. Okay.
Okay.
Now I have assigned this to the integer, the floating number to the float variable and abu. So for me to call them, I can call integer, and it will give integer var. It will produce the result for me. It will produce. So why my program gave me an error now is because I have not run the first tab. Please always note that when you are working with the first tab, two tab, you have to run your first tab and your second tab to
Okay.
get your
Let me let,
result.
let me just pen these points down.
So
When you are running
before,
what?
when you are working on separate tab and you declare a variable on the first tab and you want to call the other tab on a separate the other variable name on a separate tab, you have to run your first um, program then before you can run the second. I hope you get it clear. For example, when I declared the multiple assignments on this first tab, so for me to get this integer var, I said I want to run it on a separate tab. When I run it, first it gave me an error. Why? Because this first tab have not been run, and when you see the error, it will give us an error that its integer var is not defined because the system do not recognize it. It has not recognized it. When it will be defined is when I run it. When I run it, did you see it show good? Okay. When I
Yeah.
run the second, automatically it will print the results. Look at it because it has been recognized. I hope you understand it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So good. So and for this is how I got my 40. This is how I got my 40. So I I print a variable int var. So when I assign it as a multiple assignment, I just want to access one of the assign variables. So I just call the int var and it gave me the result. I can also call the float. It will tell me the floating number. So let me call the float. Did you see when I called the float, it gave me 50.5.
Okay.
So this is how
Yeah, I'm seeing.
we can assign assignment. So this method of assigning multiple assignment, okay, maybe you are working with millions of code and you don't want to pass through the stress of writing it on a separate line. You can use this method, this multiple assignment, to assign variables, okay, to ease, and it's easy, simple, and less stressful, okay.
Okay.
So I earlier mentioned a data type. We are moving to data type. I earlier mentioned data type, and I told you that we have a numerical data type and some other data type. First of all, I will turn my screen to Google, and we are going to look out on data type. What is data type? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
So are you seeing the screen now?
It's still blank. Okay, I'm seeing it now.
Okay, now we are going to look on data type. So, and when I click it, you have to read for me so that, okay.
Okay.
Now, can you read for me?
Um, in programming, data type is an important concept. Variables can store data of different types, and different types can do different things. Python has the following data types built in the default in these categories, which we have text type, numerical types, sequence types, mapping types, set types, Boolean type, binary types, non-type.
Okay, so these are the data type. So I believe with this explanation, you are able to know what is the meaning of data type. Okay, so these are
Okay.
data types. Data type is like, and in Excel, we have the date, the currency. The currency is a data type there in Excel. So these are like the integer. Integer is a data type. Float is a data type. Okay. So we are going to see all of this in a written program. Now we are going to focus on numerical data type. We are going to look on the first, look on the first, and in our example of the multiple assignment, you have seen what is integer, you have seen what is floating number, right? Hello.
Yeah, hello. I'm hearing you.
I said in our multiple assignment, you have known what is integer and floating number, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to look on complex. Okay, the word complex is when a value, when a variable has integer or mixed with a letter or string, it will look complex to the system. So we will see it on a written code. Okay, so let's us go
What
to
what what you say complex mean?
I said complex is um, a type of data type which have multiple data type. Maybe it has a numerical and mixed with uh, a text type. It will look complex to the system because it will categorize it as complex because it has two different data type.
Okay.
So now I'll stop sharing my screen and move to my notebook. So this is our notebook and I'm going to write it the title data type, and we are focusing on numerical data type. So numerical data type we have look on integer, we have look on float, then we are going to look on complex. So we are going to declare complex now. Okay, we are going to declare complex. So for us to declare a complex, I will declare a variable called complexity. So this is my variable name. I want to use this as my variable name, and I'll go to assign a value called 10, and I will add it with 10, 19J or 90K. I want to attach it to a text. So now I will run when I run it. When I run it, it will give me an error. So let's see. Let me see my error. Okay.
Hello, I'm getting you, sir.
So I'm trying to see my errors. So so I will use this 19J as an example. When I run it, this is complex in the sense that I mix it with 19 and J, and I wanted to add it to 10. Once I run it, let me print the variable name. So it will not add because it looks complex. Now, as for us to see the type of data type, we are going to use this method. We are going to print out the data type of it. So let's see how we can do it. Now, for us to do it, we are going to print, then we are going to use a function called type, and we are going to pass in our variable name complexity. So we have passed in our variable name complexity. Now, so I will add a comment. I will add a comment, and this is our result. So I want to run it now. I want to run it. When I run it, did you see it? It said the class is complex, and this is our result. Because, okay, let me remove this. Now let's print the type of it. The type is complex. Did you see the system recognize it as complex?
Yeah.
So this is how we check a particular type. You can check the type of anything using the function called type and type brackets, and you pass in the parameters of what you want to check on. Okay, so this is how we can check for a type, and this is complex variable, and this is complex variable. So we are going to see, uh, we are going to see what is Boolean. So the word Boolean, to you, what do you understand by the word Boolean?
I don't think I've ever come across this word though.
Okay, you have not heard about Boolean. Okay,
Yeah.
Boolean, the word Boolean in mathematics. Okay, have you heard about uh, logic in mathematics? Logic. Hello, have you heard about logic?
Hello?
Have you heard
Logic?
about, yes?
Yeah, I've heard about logic.
So, okay, have you heard about truth table?
Three table
Truth
in
table,
logic
truth table.
or two
Yes.
table in logic. Yeah, yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
about two table in logic.
When we have the true and false
Yeah, yeah.
in our truth table, when you are declaring a binary, you are searching for binary, you have the true and the false, true and false on the table in logic. So the true and false are Boolean. Boolean
Okay.
is Boolean is a data type that have only two possible value, true and false. It has
Okay,
only,
let me pen it down.
okay. So Boolean data type can have only two possible value, true and false. Can have only two possible value, true or false. True or false. Okay. Have you penned it down?
Yeah, I'm penning it down.
Okay, good.
It can have two.
Possible values,
Okay.
true or false.
Okay.
So, and we are going to see it in our Python programming. So in Python, Python recognizes it as bool. Bool. In English, the Python in our English language is called Boolean. Boolean. But in Python, the class of it is bool. The class is bool. Okay.
Okay.
So we are going to see the data type called bool now. So I'll come here, I will update here, I'll update it, and we have the boolean. So I've already updated it, boolean. So now we are going to declare a boolean. For us to declare a boolean, okay, let's see. Let's give Abu true. True. So now when I run it, it will run. Then when I check the class or the data type, let me check the data type. I want to copy this and I want to paste it. Then I will start Abu here to check the type, the class. It will tell me the class is Boo. Did you see it? The class
Yeah.
is Boo. So Python recognizes it as Boo. It's a Boolean, okay, in our normal language, English, Boolean. So when I change it to false, to false, when I run it and run the print again, it will still tell me it's a Boo. Okay, this
Okay.
is Boolean. It has only two, and it has only two values, true and false. So the next is string creation. We want to look on how we can create a string. Okay, how we can create a
Okay.
string. So for us to create a string, with we assign a string like we declare a variable called Abu, then we pass in a quoted character text inside a quote. That is a method of creating a string. So let's see an example. String string creation. So this is our next topic, string creation. So now for us to create a string, we are going to declare a variable name called Abu. I always use Abu because it's your name and you are in class, and this name is what you will understand. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm going to use a quote, then I will pass in hello, hello world, and this method is known as string. This method I just declared is known as string. When I use a quoted and a quote on a sentence or a word is known as
Okay.
string. So
Okay. Let me just pen something down.
so we have created a string, and I want to run the Abu. When I run the Abu, it will run. It will give me hello, hello world. So this is it. So let us check the type. Now I told you that for us to check, for you to know the type or the class it belongs to, you will use a method called a function called type, then the bracket. So always remember that to check for a particular class or a particular type. So I have copied that before. So I want to change it now to what I'm searching for. Now I change it. Did you see that the class is str, the string?
Yeah.
So this is how to check for it. And I believe we have created a string. So now we can declare a string using a single quote and double quotes and multiple quotes. Okay, now I want to declare a multiple quote, like a single quote. In our computer system, we have this quote. You will find it on it. This is a double quote. It's still the same way with this, but there is a time you will see that this say a double quote is different from the single quote. Okay, when we enter the printing format, you will see the difference between the single quote and the double quote. We can also use multiple quotes like this. This is multiple quotes. This is multiple quotes, multiple quotes. So this is an example of a multiple quote. So we are going to um, see other multiple quotes. Now we can also use this as a multiple quote when we use our double quotes 3 times. It's a multiple quote. So this is a multiple quote. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
So so we are going to see and how we can index. So before we see how we can index, I will take you to Google to know it more and more. Okay, so let me search for indexing. Okay,
Okay.
then I will share my screen to you for you to see. And I'm searching on it so that I don't want to share on my full screens. So I want to search for it, then I will give you the results. So I want to share my screen now, and I'm coming. So I'm about to share the screen now. I hope you are seeing my screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay. Before we go further, we have to see the various picture of it. Now, now I want you to focus on where my direction icon is. Are you
Okay.
seeing it?
Mm-hmm.
You are seeing it. And you see the forward direct indexing and the backward direct indexing, and this is the string. So Python, we want to see how we can search or get each word in Python, each word in Python, the string Python. We want to see how we can access it. So indexing is like accessing, okay?
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
okay. So is accessing. We have two type of accessing a word, a word, a single character in a word, and we have the forward direct indexing in Python. We have the backward direct indexing. Now we have a word called Python. If I want to access the P, I can access it through the forward direct indexing using 0, but in the backward I can access it through -6. If I want to access y, I will access it with 1 in our forward. In our backward, I will access it with -5. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
So this is indexing. This is the forward direct indexing and the backward direct indexing. So we'll go back to our Python program so that we see how we can perform it or work on it using our Python programming language. So now we are going to index it. So we are going to indexing string indexing. So I will write it as string indexing so that you will always remember that is string indexing. So as times goes on, you will also see in list indexing and some other type of other indexing. So this is string. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to copy this. We are going to copy this. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to paste it. This is Abu. Now, I want to access H. I want to access H. Now, for me to access H, I will access it like this. I will call Abu, then the square brackets. I will pass in using our forward indexing. I can access H I can access H with 0 because in our forward indexing, H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, the other L is 3, 4, the space is 5, and W is 6, like that till it run through or complete through this process. So now let me pass in 0 and run. Did you see I've accessed H with this using the
Mm-hmm.
forward?
Yeah.
Now let me access it with our backward. Now for us to access it using our backward, and backward started with -1, and in our backward it started with -1. In our forward it started with 0. So I have to calculate like this: D is -1, EL is -2, arrow is -3, O is -4, W is -6, and space is -7, O is -8, L is -9, the other L is -10, the E is -11, and the H is -12. So, and I will pass in -12. It I'm coming. I'm still running it. It will give me an error. Maybe I did not calculate it. So it said string
Yeah.
is out
Maybe.
of range.
Maybe do you have to calculate the space?
Yes, I have to calculate the space. So it said it's out of range. Okay. So let's
Should be
calculate
11.
again.
Should be 11.
Yes, let's calculate again. D is what?
Because when I calculated without using the space, it was 10.
Okay. With the space is
Without the space is 10. So with the space is
with
11.
the space is 11. Now let's add 1 and run. it will run, and our result is h. Did you see it?
Yeah.
And this is how we can use the indexing to access. Okay, so
Okay. Let me
now,
just pen down something.
so have you penned down what you want to pen?
Mm,
Okay, now for us not to for us to know the index number without um, us passing through the process of counting. So, do you remember our function which called len in our last class?
function which starts with what? Um,
len, then bracket. We used it in our last class.
remember, sir, I remember.
You remember?
Yeah.
And what did I say that the function is?
In our
Huh?
last class,
Yes.
what a function is.
What this function is in our last class, I had explained it in our last class.
Mm, no, I don't think I can recall it again. I remember you
Okay,
talk about function.
okay. Please note,
Okay.
please note, and
Okay.
is len and with len with brackets is a okay is like checking for a particular length. Okay, we are checking for a particular length. Okay,
Okay.
len is length. Is a function called length. It's a function called length, and we want to check the length. Now we have declared it. When I declare it without passing a parameter, it said take exactly one argument. It gave me an example, zero given. So I will impute Abu because we assigned hello world to Abu. Then automatically it will count the length. It will give us the length of Abu. It will give us the length of Abu. Once I run it, it said Abu is 11. The length is 11. Did you see how we check for the length without us counting?
Okay. I just want you, even though I'll be keeping us back, I just want you to briefly explain again the length because I understand what you're saying. We're trying to bypass the process of counting for us
Yes.
to yeah. Okay. For us to know the indexing, right?
Yes. For us to know the length of the word, the index
Okay.
number
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
forward index number, we use the length. The length we calculate every letters for us.
Okay. 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 Just give me a minute. Let me this must pen down.
So now, hello, can we move forward now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's now left for you to know since you have the length, it's now left for you either you want to use the forward or the backward indexing. If is the forward indexing, you have to add 1 and minus 1 from the level. It will be 1 to 0 to 10. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir. I understand.
And if you want to use the backward, you can just add your minus 1 to 11. So this is easy for us, and I believe you understand it. So this is how we can index. Now, I want you to access for me the space. Okay, I want you to access the space for me. So what am I going to type? Abu,
Yes, sir. I'm getting you.
how can I access this space?
What you say, sir?
I said, what? How can I access the space in our hello world in Abu?
How can you access the space?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Explain further. I don't understand what you're trying to ask.
Okay, I accessed the H. So I want you
Yeah.
to give me uh, 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 other example of how I can access the space. So how can I access the space? You can use any type, whether the backward or the forward indexes. So tell me so that I can just run it to see our results. I just need an example. Okay. What is the code I will write to access the space?
Let me give you a word.
What is the code will I write to access the space?
Okay, it's length.
No, look at it. Get it right. For me to access this space,
Yeah.
how will I write it to get the space?
Or to get this space here.
Yes, how will I write it? How will I write
No.
it?
I don't know. I don't know how to write it to get the space. I just because I saw you write it from, but I don't see any explanation on how to put that space.
I say how to get it, like get it. The system should bring it out for us. Like the way I write the H. So please, I want you to get me clear. I wrote this code to get H. How will I write the code to get this space? Give me an example, another example. I gave you the first example. You are supposed to know. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
So look at it. This is the way to get it. Please, I don't want to always explain. So this is it. You can use this above square bracket to get the space. Then we are going to count using the backward indexing. We are going to count -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5, -6. When we input -6, we are going to get the space. So did you see it?
Yeah.
So now how can we get the arrow? How can we get the arrow?
This R, the R on
Yes,
the one.
yes.
Using a backward spacing or forward spacing.
Anyone you want to use.
Okay, if we're using the backward, I'm not seeing the word.
Okay, look at the word. I've scrolled up.
Okay, one minus. Okay, It's my -4.
-4. How will I
Yeah,
write it?
I am Abu. Um,
Okay.
yeah, Abu.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me see.
The square
Abu
bracket.
brace
Okay.
-4.
-4. Good.
Yeah.
I just want you to always okay, this is it. Your answer was wrong. It gave us zero. You said -4. -4 is 0.
Let me see.
Arrow is 3.
Let me see. Wait. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yes. R is 3.
So, so 3, and it should produce arrow for us. Okay, can we call it a day?
Okay, no problem.
So, what did you learn today? I don't want to take you long so that you will not miss what you learned in today's class.
Okay. Today we talked about data types, and we have different types of data types. We looked at the first type of data type, which is called the numerical data type. And the numerical data type has three types under the numerical data types, which are the float, the integer, and that of the complex numerical data type. Then we talked about the complex. The complex under the numerical data type, you said that the complex data type is when a variable has a multiple types. When a variable has a multiple type, it's being referred to as a complex data type. Then we talked about the float, which of course you said the float is a number with the floating point. Then how to tell a number is a float? It must contain a decimal. Then as well, we talked about another data type which is called the Boolean. And you said in Python the Boolean is being recognized as bool. Then the Boolean can have two possible values, which are the true or false. Then we talked about the string. Then we said a string creation is when a word has a quoted word is okay, when a word has a quoted word that is known as what a string. For example, like let me just say like given the word high, if a high has like let me say a hyphen or being quoted, it's known as a string. Then
Okay.
within the string again, we have three types of string, which is the single. Like when a word is being a single, then it's been attached with hyphen. Then that's called a single. A word with double hyphen two. That's called a double string. Then a multiple when it's over two, three. That's a multiple quotes or a multiple string. Then we are, of course, now a quote is known as an hyphen. Then we talked about the indexing of string, how we index a string. We have first two types of indexing, which is the forward indexing and the backward indexing. We said the forward indexing, it starts with 0. and upwards positively, positive integers, right? Then
Yes.
the backward indexing now it starts with -1 onwards, -2, depending on the amount of letters.
Yes.
Then we talked about the length. So how to check a length in indexing, we use the word len.
Uh, and I want you to study on your notes. I gave you some materials in our previous class. Please go through them, and then when we come to class, you will be flowing with me, or various concepts in Python programming. Thank you for this great day, and I hope to see you on top.
Okay, no problem, sir. Have a nice day.
Good night.
Yeah, good night, boss.